Today I just want to take a look at some control rig stuff and something that I've been using a little bit lately, which is actually super useful. And that is being able to use a spline system in your control rigs for your IK. I've got these little tentacles on this character, and they all have a couple of different control nodes that I have here. And it kind of just figures out the bones from a spline. So these are effectively just 4 spline points that I can use to make this thing be in any kind of position that I need it to be. And since these are essentially tentacles, a spline-based way to be able to animate and pose these is pretty much perfect for what I need it to be. I can drill it into the ground just like this, and yeah, in my case, I do allow it to change its length and deform. You actually have options to tell it whether or not it's allowed to do that, but I can super easily make it curve in whatever way I need it to, and it's remarkably easy to set up. So let's go take a look at how this control rig works. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on here, but that's mostly because I have 6 of these tentacles, so there's a lot of duplicated effort going into all this. In our forward solve, what we have here is a spline IK. You can just get this by adding in, well, a spline IK node, and it gets you this little purple node. As I said before, I have stretching enabled. If you disable stretching, it won't allow you to make the spline longer than the default size of whatever bones you have. So that way you can still use it to drive things like tentacles that aren't allowed to stretch and go all over the place. In my case, I kind of like the freedom of being able to kind of cheat a little bit with that. And here what we do is we have an item array of controls and then an item array of bones. These are the 4 controls that I have here. So this is the base control, and you need at least 4 controls for this to work, because without at least 4 controls, it can't create the starting points and endpoints and the tangents between them to actually make curvature. So at least 4 points are needed to drive a spline. But you should be able to add in more points if you have a very long tentacle spline thing that needs more fine control, if you need that to be the case. Then you just give in the item array of all of the bones that belong to this tentacle, starting at the very bottom and then all the way up to the very end bone over here. And those simply go into the spline IK node. Now we have this primary axis and these other 2 axes. You can see the other 2 I've just zeroed out and it works perfectly, at least for me. This primary axis is not always going to necessarily be y-1. Usually, if your skeleton is set up properly, it probably will be. But the thing that we need to take into account is if we look at the bone at the very bottom of our tentacle, so that would be, in this case, probably this one of these, it's this one, right? Just make a quick controller for this bone, which you need to do anyway, because that is what this little controller that I have here is. It's just a controller made specifically off of that bone. You can see its orientation based on the gizmo that we have here. And you see that the gizmo is saying the y direction, the green arrow, is pointing away from the direction that the bones actually extend into. So that means that we need to take the y direction in the negative to get the direction that this spline is facing in. If you have your skeleton set up differently and your bones are rotated differently, it might end up being the X direction in the positive, or the Z direction in the positive, or if you have it really messed up, a combination of some different axes. Again though, if your skeleton is set up somewhat sensibly, you probably end up in a situation that is fairly close to what we have here, and where negative Y or positive Y, or maybe the X or the Z, will end up working out for you, but you need to figure out which direction these bones extend in compared to the base direction of the very first bone that we have here. Then this gives us a spline output, which we can just draw a spline from with the draw spline node. You just give in the spline, the color, the thickness of your spline, and it will just draw in this little spline for you. Obviously, that's not necessary. It can be a little bit visually noisy, as a matter of fact, so you can skip out on that, and then it doesn't draw that, in my case, red little line. I kind of like having that spline there, so that it shows me everything that I need to know about how things are curving, and sometimes things get a little bit janky and a little bit glitchy, so it's good to see, hey, is this something to do with the geometry, or is the spline itself kind of freaking out? Make sure that your samples per segment aren't too low either, because that's essentially the resolution of your spline. But now if we just move this over a little bit and we rotate this, again, I can say don't stretch this, and you see that it just follows the spline until it runs out of geometry. I can move this thing as far away as I like, and it doesn't stretch out. So that might be more what you prefer. Again, I kind of like the fact that it actually stretches to match the spline as a whole. We have a handful of different spline modes. We can either use a B-spline, which is a little bit more smooth, as you can see. It doesn't actually go from point to point to point. It kind of smooths itself out as a, well, B-spline would, if you've ever worked with any spline in things like Photoshop or After Effects or that kind of stuff. This other mode just goes from point to point to point, so it's a little bit more of a linear spline, where this one is more of a smoothly interpolated one. And the rest of this control rig is just me doing that 6 times in total for every single tentacle on my character. This is a ridiculously powerful thing to be able to do to rig up specifically tentacle type things, so don't do anything weird with it, okay? It doesn't necessarily work that well for things like arms or legs. For that, you still probably want to stick with just normal everyday IK. But for a character like this one, or if you're making an octopus game or something along those lines, you do need to keep this in mind, because it's going to make animating your things so much easier and so much smoother to be able to do. And a very big thank you to all my Patreons. You can see them on screen right now. If you want to help support the channel or get any of the project files in any of my tutorials, there's a link down below to the Patreon page to support me, or alternatively as a YouTube member. My Cave students, tier supporters, Oiku, Earl, Monserville Erno, and a special thank you to my Cave Digger tier supporters, Mauricio Farias, Cheng the Dude, and the Joshamator.